Titans, we have something very special here, and to really appreciate it, you need to utilize what it can do. And I have a couple tricks for you, a couple big ones. The things that you've been used to playing Titan cannot be done. And because of that, some might think that this exotic isn't for them. That's fine, because your way of thinking does need to change. Instead, you're going to be doing something just as powerful. This season's Titan exotic is the Arbor Warden chess piece. Exotic perk, the Baronade, and Bungie. I am really glad that you took a leap of faith here with the community with naming this perk. Nothing fancy, nothing intricate or Destiny related, Destiny correct, because there's nothing else to call this thing other than the Baronade. Masterpiece naming. Using your class ability, channels defensive light inward, providing a grenade that creates a barricade on impact. Extremely cool and different. I have some things to show you. But before we get into it, a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Snowbreak Containment Zone. From city blocks to cyber vibes, shanty towns to underground areas, you and your squad will take on massive humanoid titans that are dozens of meters high with intense boss battles, innovative gameplay, a variety of weapons, unique character skills, epic action elements, and an engaging storyline. After a pandemic left mankind with a greatly diminished workforce, rapid advances were made in AI and robotics. Fast forward, and titans arrive all over the world, resulting in massive destruction and loss of life. And here's where you come in. As part of a newly formed anti-titan paramilitary, you'll enter the Containment Zone to inspect, observe, and collect. Along the journey, you'll explore conflict between technology and humanity, scientific progress, and religious belief. The combat is fast-paced, and you can switch between characters, use different attributes, skill positions on the fly to counter intensive fights with an ever-expanding roster of characters. Even better, you can team up with two friends for a fun co-op experience. To tackle these bosses, one of my favorite parts is the arsenal. Very vivid gun design that creates some hardcore control feedback. And there's an extremely high degree of customization. Snowbreak Containment Zone is cross-platform, available to play on iOS, Android, and PC. It has 3 voiceover languages, English, Japanese, and Mandarin, 4 languages for community support, and 10 text languages. With an upcoming launch date of July 20th, you can earn and claim exclusive rewards for accomplishing pre-registration goals and participating in the closed beta test as we get ready for the official launch on July 20th. Thank you again to Snowbreak Containment Zone for sponsoring today's video. Starting off, to really, and I mean really, get every ounce of usage that you can out of this thing. You don't have to, but just starting off to get the feel. Of course, 100 resilience, the fastest barricade possible. Single or double utility kickstart. When you use your class ability, it's fully expended. You gain class ability energy back. With how this works, you use your barricade, and you can do this on the ground, crouching, walking, crouch walking, in the air, anywhere that you want. You pop the animation, a ball comes out in the left hand. It's glowing whatever subclass that you're on. Be green for strand, dark blue for stasis, light blue for arc, and so on. The right arm comes out, punches it, it turns white. Once done, Baronade is on your screen. You can throw it, and on impact, creates your barricade. There's a lot of things to look at. The first trick you can do, it's not obvious, but you should do this. As soon as you have your barricade, pop it. Do the animation at the start of the match, at the start of a round of trials. As soon as you get it, press your class ability button, get this little nade chambered. Because as you run around, it's going to recharge. Throw the barricade when you need to, or right before the cooldown is back. Even if there's no enemies, or you don't need safety, whatever, you can at least create an obstacle between you and whatever's in front of you. Because if done right before the cooldown ends, you're going to throw it, the barricade's going to come back, and you can do it again. If you don't throw the Baronade, with the barricade coming in, it's going to consume that with the new charge, and you have to wait again. The second trick is bypassing some of the animation. The full animation, let's look at the animation side by side with the regular barricade pop. The regular barricade readies the weapon a little bit quicker. And side note, what you're trading, you're popping the Baronade away from any threat. You're doing it off to the side. That's kind of a long animation, get it out of the way. But when it comes to getting the barricade out, it's a basic nade throw. And that's going to be a little bit faster than the actual barricade animation. So the moment you throw it at your feet, the barricade's going to pop up instead of using the class ability, doing the little shoulder forward, getting the barricade out. But the full animation, the Titan brings out the ball in the left hand. With the right hand, they punch it. I guess you could say, knocking the light in. The right hand pulls back, goes way off screen. Left hand basically is going to drop down to your hip, away from your sight. Cool. What you need to do to bypass a ton of this animation, as soon as the punch lands on the grenade, swap cancel it. You could also double press your swap weapon to get back to the one that you're currently using in your hand. But right as the punch happens, cancel the rest. Saves a ton of time. And going back to earlier with the regular barricade pop, and remember how the regular barricade beats this animation? Well, now with canceling it, this readies the weapon faster. Pretty cool. The barricade and how you use the barricade takes on everything from the Titan's kit. As an example, Strand. Activating your class ability creates a ripple to suspend targets. Well, you can throw that from a distance and suspend. Literally Pokemon. you can catch them. And what's so cool about this is this Baronade. You can throw it well in front of you as you're coming up to a choke point. Or maybe you're getting hard scoped, whatever it is. You can throw this thing at a distance, and on strand it'll suspend them. But if not, you at least create that barrier between you and where you're going. Or again, you could bait a corner, be up in the air, and as someone's coming around the corner, you can throw it straight down, pop the barricade up. Someone's rushing you, same deal. It is faster than popping an actual barricade. So you throw the nade immediately down at your feet, it can suspend them. Really, really good. And for a lot of the gameplay, I hadn't really figured out the animation bypass yet, so you're not seeing it. But when done correctly, again, popping it immediately, trying to find an engagement as the cooldown's coming back, you can throw one, pop it again, and have another one ready to use, or wait. It is really, really good on strand. And this is one of those exotics, you do have to get a feel for it, because it does completely change how you play, because usually, barricade's extremely defensive. But you could do things like, especially with suspend, if a Titan already has their barricade up, you can throw your Baronade right in front of theirs, and it will actually suspend them behind their barricade. Someone's hard scoping you, you need to get across a lane. It's kind of like a glacier grenade, but with something like strand, you have that suspend utility. So strand is one of the best if you decide to use this exotic, but that doesn't mean it's the only way. Speaking of glacier grenades, this has two kind of zone control type deals. In this clip, I kind of got caught, but I'm in the air, I throw it straight down, block them off, and behind them I throw a glacier grenade. So there's a lot of combinations you can do, especially the double up that we talked about, where you can have the Baronade ready, approaching another one. Think like Trials, the zone's up. You could throw it at a distance right on their barricade if a Titan's already there, or throw it to the choke point to cut them off coming to you. And once you get there, you can do it again. There's a ton of play with this exotic, guys, I'm telling you. Let's move on to Void, the Bastion Shield. It does feel a little bit worse, solely because the barricade is longer. But you have to think of it, it's almost like Wormhusk a little bit. Because with the Bastion Shield, if you just throw it down right at your feet, you get an overshield. And maybe somebody's rushing you, you get that extra health. Or you can throw it way out in front of you, and as you're approaching the barricade, you start slowly getting that overshield. On Void, it's actually really, really good too. I had a ton of fun plays, a ton of good plays with Bastion Shield. I'm not gonna lie, I did find myself, when someone's rushing me, because we've been doing it for literal years, I pop the barricade, well, I'm bringing out a ball and I'm punching it instead, and I just go down. Your complete mindset has to change. You do it away from battle, and you can use it extremely aggressively, or defensively, as you've always done. Hold up, we're gonna stop for 1 second. If you're still here, thank you. Just found out a couple more things. I put text earlier. As far as canceling the animation, 1, you can sprint cancel it as well. Definitely do that. You should be doing that. 2, there's about a half-second duration in the Crucible where you throw the barricade up. It will not hurt your enemy. PvE, it's fine. But in the Crucible, split second, and then it starts damaging them. Now, this third thing I came across because I was wondering about a certain fragment. In the end, this thing is indeed coded as a grenade, so that means it's going to reload a demolitionist weapon. So you can have a demo weapon out, throw the barricade nade, still have your regular grenade, dump the ammo, throw it again, reload it again. I'm pretty sure that there's other hidden things that go along with this, possibly grenade kickstart, but it does for sure work with demolitionist. Moving on to Arc. Arc's no joke either because the kit is just simply strong. The kit gives the exotic a lot of play. But something to keep in mind, Spark of Focus, after sprinting for a short time, your class ability regeneration is increased. It does not work with this exotic because A, it's bugged, or B, it's intended. I think that it's intended. There's one side that could say, hey, maybe they saw how fast you can just keep getting barricades to throw out, which I could see, but it's more than likely it's coded as a grenade and that fragment's coded as class ability. It just simply doesn't work. But Arc, fast class, you can do things like ballistic slam into someone, which I love doing, and then throw a barricade around you right after. You have full control of the situation. Maybe shoulder charge and throw a barricade down. Lots and lots of options with Arc. Solar's kind of iffy. Scorch can give you class ability energy with the fragment, but this is technically a nade, so not really. As I played with it, I kept finding that this exotic can do a ton of things. I'm sure that there's more, but on a base loop, using it with Strand, using it with Void as the top options, and sure, Behemoth's an entirely different thing because you can pair it with a Glacier Grenade. There's a ton of play here. It's a very fun and very effective exotic, But again, you have to completely change how you think about playing Titan with the barricade. Sometimes it's pre-planning, sometimes it's right in the moment. Regardless, it can do awesome things. It's a really good one, and I highly encourage you to go get it. If you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button, and if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. Let's talk about Arbor Warden down below. What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.